You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah. And if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAC Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Look who it is. Look who it is. Oh, I see you, you little nerd. Sitting in your office chair, you little nerd.
Sitting in the wood chairs at school, you
Sitting in your chair.
looking at me.
You know you're supposed to listen to this podcast standing up.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Did I never tell you that I record it standing up? I'm only 3.5 feet tall.
That is true. Gavin's on a high chair at the moment.
I really am.
We had to get a special high chair just for Gavin.
I'm all torso, baby.
He's all legs, that guy.
Yep.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Today is March 29th, the day we're recording this. You're hearing this on Friday, which is April 3rd. April
2nd.
April 2nd. But that's not even what's important. That's what's important. That's what's important is Gavin has a soundboard. But you know why Gavin has a soundboard? And you know why my voice doesn't sound like it's being spoken through a gaming headset? Even though I am wearing the gaming headset, but that's not how you're hearing
Listen, dude, you don't have to flex on us that hard. All right.
Listen, Razor Kraken 3.
Razor Kraken.
That's what they're called, Razor Krakens. You didn't know that?
No, I knew. Yeah.
But hey, wait a minute, Gavin. You're not on a
You
screen.
got big man hands. I got, such girly
Gavin's
hands.
petite. Gavin's got petite fingers.
Yeah. Oh my God, I did not know that.
Gavin, you're not on a screen anymore. I don't have to look at you through a screen.
Yeah, you get to see
when I visit you at jail.
You see every minute detail.
I get to see every leaking pore on your body.
You should have seen it this morning. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't know what to say to that.
No.
Oh. Let's go. We are finally doing this podcast in person.
I'm really, I can't stop smiling. Wait, do the one on there.
I can't stop smiling either.
Do the one on there. Yeah.
That could be your soundboard now. We're doing this in person.
Yeah.
Gavin and I are right across from each other. If you're listening to this, Gavin and I are right across from each other. You have to trust me.
Well, I mean, also the sound will be very much the same as opposed to two completely different, like, every like 30 minutes.
Yep. I don't know what you're talking about. We can still do that. Every 30 minutes, I just want you to start doing that. Just
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
And that's what...
Yeah, I wanted to become unsynced.
We got to imitate it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I dropped a insurmountable
He is in economic
uncountable
despair at this point.
and I still am, guys. Please go to the GoFundMe in the link in the description. I need money to dig myself out of this hole that I've put myself in financially. I paid a lot of money to make this podcast
I actually
sound
pulled
great.
out a loan to be able to afford to go here today.
I pulled out of something.
Yeah.
My driveway when I went to work this morning to work my 9 to 5 like the rest of America. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen?
Working 9 to 5.
I can hear the make them. Oh, yeah. That's too loud. That's definitely too loud.
Sorry.
Why is that so loud?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, I think you might have messed with something over here. Maybe.
Oh.
Play it again. Play something. Are you sure? Turn your thing down on your computer. It's so loud. That's fine. That's fine. Let's go. So if you're hearing us, Gavin and I are both using a Shure MV7 microphone.
Which is only surprisingly like $120 more than my microphone at school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I think mine was I think it was supposed to be cheaper, but it came with a copy of PUBG.
Have you played PUBG at all? Why did you buy it with a copy of PUBG?
Because it was black. It was the only black microphone they
Oh,
had.
you had to buy one with a copy of PUBG
Uh-huh.
for what? What was the copy of PUBG for? Or is it like a card? I don't know how PUBG works. Like for like
It was like a collector's edition of
For the-
PUBG of like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
the
That's what PUBG
the
is.
Yeti version of PUBG.
I got the blackout version.
We're recording this through Shure MV7 microphones, which are the
For you
newer-
audiophiles out there.
for you audio heads, for you audio incels out there. These are the downgraded version of the Shure, whatever it's called, that literally every podcaster uses. That are literally, they look exactly the same and they're bigger, but these are better in my opinion because you can go through XLR into your computer. You can use it as a.
You can just keep saying stuff, and
You
I'm
can
just gonna
use it
agree with
as-
you. I really
you
could
can
just
use it
do
as a
that.
USB microphone.
Yep.
And we're recording this into a Zoom PodTrack P4. And if the sound quality is not that great, it's because it's a 16-bit, not 24. And that's just a couple of the many sounds that are on the PodTrack P4.
Can you make it so if you double tap it, there's a different sounds, or
No, it's literally you can just load 4 sounds into it,
that's so?
and that's
lame.
it.
I gotta have like a studio soundboard in front of me.
That's what I want. I was telling Gavin before this that I want to, I don't know, at some point, I just want to buy a little synth that I just want to play music on during the podcast.
Yeah, and then we can pass it around to each other, right?
Yeah, of course.
We can pass it around.
I don't know if there's gonna be enough inputs at that point. We'll have to get I'll have to get a different recording device.
No, get a audio splitter so that we could add like 2 or get like one
try it.
of those ones that's like an octagon.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
Belkin-
I can't
Belkin
find it
makes
though.
those.
Yep, it's a Belkin. But we could probably, whatever. That doesn't even matter to anybody at all.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Matters to me. I did want to tell everybody what podcasting gear we were using, just in case people are wondering.
Yeah.
And funny story about ordering all this equipment is I ordered it all through a company called Sweetwater.
Oh
Which-
yeah, I've heard.
Oh, you've heard
Sweetwater.
of Sweetwater?
I've heard of
Okay.
Sweetwater.
Yeah, I had heard of it through another podcast that ordered all their equipment through it. And they had talked about the same thing that I'm about to talk about. And that's that Sweetwater's a really good company where you can order like any audio equipment. You can also order like, I don't even know, other music equipment as far as I know.
Yeah, I thought it was more of like a used place, but
No, it's not. I don't
Oh.
think it's used.
Never mind. My impression is wrong.
I don't think these are used.
It's okay if they're used.
Unless they have like a used. I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know
Anyway.
anything about it being used.
I just. Oh,
What'd you do?
my chair just went down.
Oh, it did? I didn't even see it.
I messed with it. Okay,
Oh.
I'm back now.
So you're just playing a joke on me and the audience.
Because my legs. I mean, I
My
don't
le-
have legs. I was touching it. What was that?
That was the
Extendo cord.
extendo.
All right. Anyway, you were saying.
So Sweetwater,
Mhm.
one thing that they are really known for is their customer service.
In a good way or a way?
I would say, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. It's good because they're very nice, but they're like very persistent. And what I heard from these other people who do a podcast is that they were getting like text messages like months later from a representative saying, "Hey, like, just wanted to make sure your equipment was still sounding good," and saying like what the exact, like I'll probably get a text at some point from this guy that I had to talk to.
Oh, you had to
But
talk to somebody while you ordered it?
I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Because it's the one thing that made me really mad, and that still doesn't make any sense to me. So they got a text from him, and they were making jokes about it and whatever. And when I ordered it online, and then the next day I got a call, and it was just like some number in Indiana, so I didn't answer it. And then I go through who called me later on, and I have caller ID, and it said like Sweetwater, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I got home and I got an email from the guy saying, "Hey, it looks like this is your first time ordering through us. Before we ship out your package, we need to talk to you on the phone." And I was like, "Why do you need to talk to me on the
We
phone?"
also need your credit card number, your social security
Well,
number, your mom's
they already
maiden name.
have my credit card
Okay,
number.
Your dad's maiden name and your mom's maiden name, and that.
So I called him. I didn't get a call until the next day because they were closed at that point. And he was literally just like,
What's up, guy?
"What'd you order?" "Oh yeah, those microphones are really good. They can go USB." And I'm like, "That's why I fucking ordered them." I wasn't a dick to him, but I was just like, "Yep." And he was literally just shooting
They
the
spent
shit.
a
He
lot
was
of
just
money.
shooting the shit with me.
They spent a lot of money on the customer service, Carson. I think you need to
They
respect that.
spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of money with them to get my package delayed. Well, only one day, but it was still a day. So they literally wouldn't ship it out until they talked to me on the phone. And for what reason? They had my address. They had everything. It's not like they didn't have any information.
Well,
That
listen,
he
dude,
just wanted to talk to me.
I think that he was maybe at home. He was feeling a little lonely. He's
Apparently.
got to have somebody to talk to. He wants to. What he wants to do is just make sure that he's sitting at home reading a book, thinking about all the people that he could be helping, and what he gets is you. He gets the biggest ass of all time. Who doesn't like talking to customer service?
I'm drinking a Pinot Grigio, fresh from the
Good
grapevines of Sicily. Bellissimo.
Yeah. No, I've never had to talk to a customer. I've
So
never
weird.
I've never had to talk on the phone with a customer rep. I mean, granted, that's what my mom's job is, but I've
Oh,
never.
really?
Yeah, she does something like that, as far as I know. I don't know.
Last time I checked,
Last
she was
time
on
I
the-
checked, she was doing
I,
something with
I
customer
walked
service.
in and my mom was on the phone. I'm like,
I'm
must be customer
Must
service.
be customer service.
Has to be.
No, I can't say I've done that before, but I have had an experience with customer service. This is also one of the reasons why I will never recommend buying Yeezys off of Yeezy Supply or one
Or
of those.
was it off the Adidas?
No, it was off of Yeezy Supply.
Okay.
They are the people. I think they're part of the Yeezy Mafia. And they post stuff on, and they're like, hey, that this is drop coming this Saturday 9 a.m. So I ordered. This was whenever the Yeezys were kind of I guess technically hitting their peak
Yeah.
point. This was freshman year of college, so almost 2.5 years ago, I guess.
It's crazy.
And I emailed probably 25 times saying I waited 8 weeks for shoes that were supposed to come in within the week. I waited
That sounds
8
about
weeks
right.
for a pair of Yeezys, and I am never ordering from Yeezy Mafia. Never order from Yeezy Mafia. If you are considering ordering Yeezys, just buy them off of StockX or literally anywhere else.
I've been waiting for this moment for months, and it's finally here.
Is that what you said when you got your shoes?
Literally, I think I literally said that exact same thing. And a lot of my friends were very fed up with me at school for talking about it for so long. But it was
Wait, you doing that?
me
No.
persistently talking about the same topic that bothers me.
No.
Ah, man.
That's why we have a podcast now, Gavin. We can do it. We can do it. We can get paid.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why we get the big bucks, Gavin.
Yeah, that's why we get paid the big bucks. We got sponsorship
Yep.
money rolling in. I'm
Rolling in.
sitting on a throne of gold right now. Actually.
Jelly Bellies is rolling us in that money.
Uh-huh. They
Doing all of our Jelly Belly ads.
Uh-huh.
And
uh-huh.
Skippy peanut butter. And Jif peanut butter.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's I personally I really like the microphones. They sound great.
Yeah. And they
I
also
can't-
sent me candy. Because it's Sweetwater. It's a joke.
I was
Do you
about to say
get it?
Laffy Taffy, but I was gonna say
They did send me Laffy Taffies.
I was gonna say Sweetwater Taffy or Saltwater Taffy.
Saltwater Taffy.
Well, they should call it Sweetwater Taffy.
They should, but they
Sweetwater,
didn't.
If you're watching this, you guys are missing out on a great marketing opportunity to make your own taffy and
Well,
put it with every
yeah.
order.
I mean, this podcast
Not
where
just Laffy Taffy.
yeah. So this podcast where I heard about it, they're a big podcast. No shout outs. And
No free
they
clout.
no free clout. And when they talked about, because they talked about Sweetwater for a while, literally, I think the guy said 20 minutes after they released the podcast, their Sweetwater representative texted him and said, "Hey, I heard the podcast," and then made a joke about it. And then it was funny because that guy texted back saying something like, "Oh, that's funny," blah blah blah. And then he texted it back and it said, "This representative as like you can't text this person back or something like that." And he was like, "What?" It's like he literally just like ghosted him after
Yeah.
that. It was funny.
I'm surprised that you weren't like. Did you like actually give him any information back, or were you just kind of like, yeah, that's crazy?
I mean,
You know,
I
like-
kind of was, but I mean, I don't know. I obliged him. I humored him.
Yeah,
I humored him a
While
little
he was
bit, and I was
sitting in
like,
his, while he was sitting in his nook.
it's sitting in his den
Yeah,
in his office
with
chair.
with his fire, and he's got a robe on, his balls hanging out.
That's what I was gonna say. He's butt naked. He's butt naked, scratching his balls, talking to me. Yeah, no, these sound really good. Gavin thinks that his sounds tinny, but Gavin
yeah.
just needs to grow up.
Well, I guess it's just because I'm used to it going, my headphones going straight into the mic, going straight into the hole.
Oh, you know what? That could be. That might have something to do with it. But
Yeah.
it sounds really good. I did an audio test last night, and so if it sounds like crap, I'm sorry. That's what I think about it too.
I just had to tell you.
I mean, you did tell me. You did just tell me, didn't you?
Oh my God!
Well.
Hello there.
Hey, I get that one.
I've been waiting to play that one for a while.
Yeah, that was good.
Hello there.
Forgot about that. You know, speaking of, they actually officially announced the entire cast of the Kenobi show.
What is that?
The Obi-Wan Kenobi like spin-off show that they're going to put on Disney Plus or whatever.
Is it cartoon or real?
No, it's like Ewan McGregor's coming back, and Hayden Christensen is making another appearance as Anakin Skywalker, not in just like some like Z-list movies with Bruce Willis. I think Ralph the Movie Maker.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah. Ralph the Movie Maker posted something where he reviewed it, and Hayden Christensen makes an appearance in a really bad movie with Bruce Willis.
Oh, really?
That's like straight to DVD.
I couldn't
yeah.
tell you a Hayden Christmas movie that came out since Star Wars. So
Yeah.
that's
No,
a
me
good. That's a
neither.
good looking boy.
Hayden Christensen?
Yeah. When
I-
he was in Star Wars, woo! I'd let him take him in the back door.
Copy that. I'll head for the docks as soon as I sanitize this shithole. What have you got?
That was pretty good. That worked out pretty well. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they're coming out with a show, but it actually
and
sounds
they
kind
have-
of interesting.
Yeah, they have it's live action, and I think they're actually having the spoiler alert. I'm gonna take like 5 seconds. Have you watched
Oh.
the second season of Mandalorian?
Well, in order to watch the second season, you have to watch the
Okay, well, did you
first.
watch any of it?
That's gonna be a no.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I'm gonna.
Sorry.
I got. Hold on, I need to pull up like a censor sound, but just like
That's fine.
censoring. This is just a censor sound right now. Just. All right.
Oh, to like
Just let you know that this
Oh.
is a spoiler right now. I'm going to
spoiler alert. Here's the spoiler sound.
Yeah. Ahsoka Tano, I think, is supposed to make an appearance in this spin-off of Kenobi,
Is that somebody from the Mandalorian?
and she is in the second
Man-
season of Mandalorian.
Did you ever
I watched
hold on
it.
real quickly. When you were a kid, did you ever get a cup of those Mandalorian oranges?
You know, actually, now that you mention it, whenever I got my wisdom teeth out, my mom actually bought some Mandalorian
Mandalorian oranges.
Mandalorian oranges in the cups.
They're good.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
What
is that?
That's the theme.
Oh,
That was
the
actually really good.
show?
I think what?
of the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't even heard that. That's as much as I know about it.
Well, anyway, I think
And Grogu, that's what I know.
I'm a big Star Wars guy. So,
Oh, look at this guy, big Star Wars guy over
Yeah.
here.
okay, Mr. Martin Scorsese Jr. What are your opinions on Star Wars movies?
I'm not that big of a fan. I'm not that big of a movie buff. Let's get that very clear, even though I am a film guy. Not a big movie buff, but I do like Martin Scorsese. What'd you say? What's my opinion on Star Wars?
Yeah, because
I love it.
I know that you didn't really like Marvel movies.
I like Star Wars. I honestly need to rewatch them all. I just haven't had the time because I got more important things to do. Like spend $100 on this setup.
and not do anything else. Not go to work. No stimmy.
I
no
don't
nothing.
work at all.
Yeah.
I haven't worked a damn day in my life. I took out a loan to buy all this equipment.
We're never paying it back.
I put it in a fake name. I bought a social security card, social security
Off the bond
number.
market, yeah.
Yep. And got out a loan. The name is David Crosby. Should be able to find it there. Social security number 1945. Just kidding. I didn't do that. I work my fucking ass off. We didn't even say the name of the show. This is the It Takes All Kinds podcast, where
Yeah, you
I'm
said
one of
you
the
wanted
hosts,
to-
Carson Rolfe,
You said you wanted to take the intro.
and
for
this is the
record.
other host, Gavin McRaven. Welcome back to
Hey.
the show. We're about we're about like 20 minutes in. This is the name of the show, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for. Well, actually, we have the pre-roll says the name of the show.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah, you're the
My
one.
mom's
with the
calling me. I
intro.
gotta go. But we just want to thank everyone 20 minutes into the show for listening to and watching the last 3 episodes now. We're up to episode 3 and we just made it.
It was really an end of an era, and I think a lot of people, if you haven't watched those episodes, be sure to go catch up. Because it's like we are constantly evolving. We are constantly changing, and you need to keep up with everything. Well, you need to make sure that you're keeping up with it.
I would just like to say rest in peace to that era of the show.
Yeah.
We know everybody will miss it. And we just want to give it one last send off.
Yeah.
It sounds like dissonant.
Yeah.
Those two playing together sounds absolutely horrible. But I love it.
But yeah. It is really something else to be in person now.
It's bittersweet.
It really
We
is.
finally touched Gavin.
Yeah.
And I won't say any more than that. When you subscribe to our OnlyFans, you can find out more.
Yeah. It'll be a duo OnlyFans.
It will be. Just like Fat Joe and DJ Khaled.
Wait, seriously? They have a
They have an OnlyFans.
Do
It's
people-
just to post videos about themselves.
Okay, I was about to say, do they actually post anything that's like...
No, and
I
I,
got-
had,
I-
and
I
I, had
can't
to pay
believe anybody-
$20 to find that out. Just kidding. I didn't do that. Some people did, though. Some people paid $25 to find that out.
Yeah, that's the art of the internet, baby.
Gotta love the internet.
Yeah.
Speaking of the internet, I'm just kidding. We could segue that way, but
No, yeah, speaking of the internet...
was there anything else you wanted to say about
No.
the
Really?
you want to say more about the podcast setup?
I like
Or
being
more
really,
about being in
I like
person?
being really meta about the podcast, like
I would
really
like-
talking about the podcast or recording the podcast.
I want to make a podcast that's about a podcast.
Yeah,
That's just about how somebody is recording a podcast.
Yeah,
and that's all they talk about.
Yep, that would be such an entertaining
It's called.
such an entertaining podcast. I bet that'd be. All right, so speaking of the internet,
Take it away, Gavin.
Lil Nas X has exploded the internet. I have not watched the video or anything else about it,
I haven't either. I'll come clean.
but Lil Nas X has this what's it called? A collaboration shoe with this brand named Mischief.
Well, it's actually spelled
no vowels.
Mischief.
There's no vowels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just MSCHF.
Yeah. And they released Satan shoes.
Satan.
With a can you play some Satan music for me? I don't have anything. Yeah, okay, that's good. They put a drop of human blood into the soles of these Air Max 97s.
Was that it? I'm sorry.
That was what I was
I
doing.
got so zoned out there for a
Yeah, sorry.
second.
No, that's what I was talking about. That's what
They put
I
a
meant.
drop of human. You said they put a drop of human blood in the shoe. That's what you said.
Yep, in the
Okay.
sole, and also like 60 milliliters of red ink too. So it's kind of like mixed in there. So it does look pretty wicked. They're numbered out of 666, the mark of the beast. They have Luke 10:18.
What is that?
It's like
I kept trying to figure that. Is that some like
it's a
devil book? Well, there's no book of the Bible, Luke. Or is there?
There is.
Uh-oh.
Jesus said to them, "I watched
Should've known
Satan
that.
fall from heaven like lightning."
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard anybody quote a passage from Luke in my entire life. This is me, a Christian who
Some Christian.
somewhat goes to church, but used to a lot, who is confirmed in the Lutheran faith, in the Lutheran doctrine of our Lord
The
and
Protestant
Savior,
way.
of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you. This is me just realizing that Luke is a
I mean, maybe it may not be.
No, it is.
It is. It is. A
Yeah,
book.
because Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the 4 apostles.
See, I didn't know that, but I knew.
Well, I didn't expect you to.
But I know the names of some of the books. Ezekiel 23:20 is one of my favorites.
What is it? No, don't. I want you to just tell me what you think it is.
No, I know it. I know
So
it.
say it. Don't read it. Don't read it. I want you to just tell
Okay,
me.
but it's about this girl who likes men with big dicks.
Is it really?
It says, "There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emission was like that of horses. She lusted after lovers with genitals as large as donkeys and emissions,
Amen.
like those of a horse."
Wow, I've never heard that.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite one.
I didn't read the whole
I want to
Bible.
put that on my coffee cup that Starbucks is gonna give out
What,
for Christmas
what
time.
is it again? What's the Ezekiel what?
Ezekiel 23:20.
Okay.
That's a
We'll
good
put that
one.
down. We'll put that down on a shirt
I gotta put that. I got
when we drop merch.
like Stone
get-
Cold Steve Austin has like the Austin.
Yeah.
I want one of those, but it says like Ezekiel 23:20.
There you go. Let's do it. That's the first. That's the first line of merch we're gonna do.
So yeah, it's stirring up a lot. Are you still playing the music? Okay.
No, it's the airplane, and I
Okay.
thought it
Yeah,
was because
okay.
I was like, I just paused it. Why am I
Uh,
still hearing it?
So a lot of people are really clutching their pearls about it, and in my opinion, in my family, we tend to not worship Satan, but or anything like that. We don't like drink goat's blood for dinner or anything like that, or eat goat.
I
But
don't know.
but it's more of like a normalized thing, I guess, in my family. It's not something that is like something that I'm scared of or scared of talking about. Or same thing with death and stuff like that. It's not anything that I'm too terribly afraid of.
And
but-
I don't think it's so much. It's probably not so much worshiping Satan as it's just like a. Because I doubt Little Nas X worships Satan. I
No,
think
no, no,
it's
no.
just
It's
like
not.
a-
I think it's more of a just an alternative,
Yeah.
alternative culture thing. And I had a conversation with one of my friends on Saturday about this, but it's just alternative culture in that it's art,
Yeah.
and I think that I hate to put the blame on just like, oh, it's funky and it's art and that's why it's so weird and it's okay to do. I do think that the drop of human blood is a little extreme.
weird.
I wonder, and the co-founder of Mischief said something that was a little sus.
Yeah. As you pull that up, I can continue. But I mean, my opinion on it is in a lot of things because, like I did say, I am a Christian and I would still consider myself a Christian. I think there's a lot of, and this is a topic for another day. I would actually like to, at some point on the podcast, we can get into religion a little bit because I think even though you and I are of different religious beliefs, I think we still have a similar outlook on religion and things as a whole because there's a lot of horrible shit in Christianity. And I'm not gonna sit here and
Well,
act like there isn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was, I guess to speak on it now, I did go to church, I think for about 10 or 12 years, 10 years, I think. Went to Sunday school and stuff like that, at a Methodist church. I don't know. I really have no idea what their belief is because
I don't think I
it's
could
just
even
one of
tell
those
you.
things where it's like you were raised and you don't really know what it was, sort of
Yeah.
thing. But anyway, so the co-founder, Daniel Greenberg of Mischief, said, quote, "Not the best way, to say the least. I could tell you it's just kind of graphic, but like not by any means a good way of doing it, on how he got the blood for the sneakers. And a lot of people were pearl clutching about this. And to the people that are really freaked out by this, you don't think
like me? I'm just kidding.
you don't think that they planned for this? You don't think that was part of the marketing? You fell into their trap. That was the point. It was meant to. It was literally invented to bring attention to it, and you did it. You fell into it.
You did it.
I'm sorry, but like you have fallen to the capitalist machine yet again. And I'm serious, but it's just one of those things where it's like it's alternative. Some people were actually really upset that Nike like quote unquote allowed them to do this. But what Mischief did was they purchased each individual shoe and customized each individual shoe, literally making them basically each one of one, but also one of 666.
And that's what needs to be very clear: is that it's not a Nike shoe.
Not a Nike shoe. They did.
It's
And
Mischief and
did
Lil
this
Nas
before.
X.
Mischief
Oh,
did this
really?
before. They did a holy water shoe, where they put holy water.
Oh.
Same people. They put holy water.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I
Yeah.
thought that was a collab too. I had no idea that
No,
was
that
a
was
custom.
Mischief. Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know it was Mischief either. If I'm being honest, that's crazy. I didn't
From
even.
the River
So I
Jordan.
mean, that right there just goes to show that they're just doing what's next for them, and that's
Yeah.
it's the same shoe.
It's the opposite. It's literally
just the opposite.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if somebody has one of the holy water shoes on their left, and then
Yeah.
the drop of human blood Satan shoes
sure.
on their right.
Yeah,
Which I think, in my opinion, would look pretty sick.
yeah.
It'd look
Or to
pretty
just have
cool.
that in a display case would be
Yeah,
cool too.
that would be awesome. But I don't know. It's just part of alternative culture, and I think that
Exactly.
people are overreacting about it. It's also just think about it. It's a shoe.
Yep.
And frankly, like I'm a bit of a sneakerhead. Carson, you're a little bit
Yeah,
more of a sneakerhead
that's the
than
one
I
thing
am.
I really wanted to. I meant to say at the beginning before we got into this is that this is something that Gavin and I will probably talk about quite a bit is sneakers, because like Gavin just said, we're both. Even though I hate the word, we're both into sneakers. I
Yeah.
don't like the word sneakerhead.
No,
because
I mean I'm not somebody who's gonna freak out if
Yeah.
I see like a shoe or something like that. But
Yeah.
I notice I take note of
Yeah.
people's shoes and stuff like that.
That's something that Gavin and I have bonded over for the last couple of years is
Yeah.
shoes. We're both very into shoes, and we'll probably talk quite a bit about shoes on here. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll also probably talk a little bit about Gavin's not as into fashion
No.
as I am, but I think he still understands it,
Mhm.
at least to an extent.
I think
But yeah, so we like shoes, and I'm sure we'll talk.
yeah, well,
about
I
it.
was going through just to kind of get like a kind of I guess test the temperature of the water on these sneakers. I like went on to social media, Instagram and Facebook particularly, just to see what people's reactions would
Ooh,
be.
Facebook.
Yeah, I know. There was obviously a lot of pearl clutching on there,
Mhm.
but also a lot of people in the comments were dog whistling, where it's like they're saying racist things but not actually saying it's racist, or
Oh, like about Lil Nas X?
no, about like people who spend money on sneakers. They're like, oh, they're gonna sell their food stamps. And I was like, they're gonna sell their food stamps to afford these shoes, and I'm like, God, that's so poor taste. That's bad.
weird.
I'm sorry,
Where
but
were
that's
people
bad.
saying that at?
Facebook. And it was like the same person that kept replying to everybody's comments saying that they're gonna, because the price of the shoes is $1,018, which is the Luke
Oh yeah, I
1018.
forgot about that.
But I mean, they are expensive. I have bought expensive shoes, and I hate that I
I
bought.
haven't bought
you-
shoes that expensive.
No, me neither. I have not. I've only. I think tops. I've spent $220 twice. I spent $220 twice.
600.
But yours are a little bit. You have a little bit different of a case. You have a
Sorry.
little bit more story behind that, and maybe you could talk about that now or later if you'd like. But
My story on what?
the $600 purchase of those sneakers, and why you bought them and why they're so important to you.
I mean-
the Sean's.
Yeah, I mean, I could get it. Maybe that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I mean, I like you were saying, I've spent a lot of money on shoes. Maybe we can talk about it after.
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't mind talking about it.
No,
I'm just
no,
saying
I'm
that
just
I don't
saying-
want to, because I could get into shoes I've bought and why I bought them for like an hour.
Yeah. No. I anyway. I'll just take
So
it.
thanks for that,
Yeah,
Gavin.
I'm just saying
Appreciate it.
that with spoiler, there will be
Throwing me
something
under the
eventually-
bus.
eventually out there for you.
But I was just gonna say really quickly that, as far as I can remember, that's the most I've ever spent on shoes. I've spent like close to that, but it's usually with like trading stuff because I also sell.
Buy, sell, trade.
Yeah.
You pawn them. You pawn
I
off. your
pawned off
shoes.
my shoes. But yeah, that's the most I've ever spent in cash for a pair of shoes.
Yeah, I have not, so I have a little bit less experience. Than that. But I'm just saying that I think
Brag
a lot of
alert over
people,
here.
I think a lot of people are taking them the wrong way because basically it's just a music video tie-in, from what I understand. Basically,
Yeah.
he kills Satan in the video, gay
Oh, he
black
kills
guy.
Satan.
Yeah, he kills Satan in the video.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I guess so. So
I knew there was a music video, and he like gave Satan. I heard he gave Satan a lap dance.
yeah,
Is
he
that
like comes down
correct?
from heaven and
Okay.
like comes down on a pole and gives him a lap dance or something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
But here's one thing I wanted to say real quickly about the whole food stamps horribly racist comment that somebody made on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is that it's like I don't really see. I don't know who I see buying these shoes. Like I see some
well,
like
eBay has them list. People are obviously scalping them.
Okay. Well, I mean, but I don't see the only people I see wearing them are like people who are like punk dudes who are into that kind of side of
Mhm.
whether it be music or that side of counterculture that are comfortable with stepping into the kind of the dark side,
I just think, in my opinion, I just think that it's a little overblown. I think reactions are a little overblown, and that people kind of, in my opinion, just need to chill out. I am okay with. I personally would not wear them, but if I saw somebody wearing them, I would be like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah, I personally would not wear them. I mean, I do like the look of the shoe and everything like that. There's
The
just
all-black
like
look with the red midsole
Yeah.
is pretty sick.
it does look really cool. I mean, just me personally, for I guess somewhat of it has to do with my beliefs a little bit on wearing it, but also I do wear shirts with pentagrams on them. So
Yeah, I mean,
I'll just be
I've
completely
never-
honest and say that.
I will say that at one point in time, I was scared. I guess I was.
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
you were. We talked about that a little.
Yeah, I mean, I was for sure. But that was just because, I guess I really wasn't in touch with any type of faith or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was also just very. I'm gonna stick to Fallout, video games, and Minecraft.
You were more just like, and my perception of it is you were just more like worried about what could happen if you stepped into that realm. Whereas like
Yeah, I guess so.
for me, it's like, it's just like there's a certain point where like, okay, this might be kind of stepping over the line for me in my religious beliefs.
Yeah,
It's
no,
kind
I
of the
mean,
way
definitely,
I
for sure.
I feel about it. And it's not that I'm scared that something's going to happen if I do it, because I was, a couple years ago, if you caught me wearing a shirt with a pentagram on it, that would have been insane. But now I'm okay with wearing it because I understand it, and I'm not like, I don't know. I know it doesn't really mean anything to me, so I'm not going to stress myself over it. But getting sidetracked a little bit into the topic of religion, which I think would be an interesting thing to talk about sometime. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I don't know who's going to be wearing this shoe, because Air Maxes really aren't in at the moment.
They're not very comfortable, from what I understand.
I mean, I can argue that a little bit because I own a pair of 97 Air Maxes, and then also the Sean's are 97 Air Max 1s.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're comfortable personally.
But you also
But-
wear Vans sneakers all
I
the
do.
time. I wear
I do.
like
I'm wearing flat-footed,
bricks.
horribly made Doc
Waffle.
Martens at the moment right
Yeah,
now. But like
I'm
I
more
don't.
the comfort sneaker. I'll buy the Ultra Boost.
Yeah, but you're like a 75-year-old man.
That's true.
You have the body of a 75-year-old man.
Hey,
Gavin
nothing wrong
does
with
have.
having a
If you
body of a
ever wanted to know what
75-year-old
Gavin
man.
feels like, he does have leathery skin like an old man.
I'm pretty soft.
Let me feel your arm.
I'm pretty soft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you feel like my grandpa.
I'm pretty old.
You feel like my grandpa without the wrinkles. Gavin's pretty old.
I haven't been stretched out and put over a drum.
Have you gotten your cataracts yet?
Not yet, but probably in a few years.
Not yet. Gavin's eyes are going glassy.
Yeah, I'm gonna
have to put them down here soon.
Can't hear very well anymore either.
What? It sounds tinny. No, Gavin, that's just your ears.
You got tinnitus, bud.
Exactly. That's really what it is. You're getting tinnitus.
Yeah.
Gavin's got diabetes.
Yeah.
Type 2.
We actually, speaking of, I actually had to have like a fake patient counseling today about, we just do like for healthcare communications.
Oh.
We just had like a cool, and the patient was supposed to have like diabetes type 2. It was nice.
They pull kids from the acting class to do that?
No, actually, it's just people from our class
Oh.
of like 11 people.
You're probably the best one at it.
No, actually, I will say that one of my friends did actually a really good job. He surprised me.
No
I
shout
was-
outs. Just kidding.
Well, he told me good job, and I told him good job right back. But he surprised me because he started talking in a country accent, and right as I was supposed to be the pharmacist, and it just threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
He was like, He's like, I'm here for my I'm here for my diabetes prescription. And I started smiling really hard.
You
And
started thinking about that music.
yeah, I was just like, I was not expecting it, but he was really good at it.
You
so.
should have done it right back to him.
Oh, hi!
Oh, how you
Hey,
doing?
howdy!
You need
How
your
are you doing?
prescription filled.
You need your metformin filled.
Okay, let me go get
Wow,
your
go
insulin.
get it. So yeah, so I guess, do you have anything more to say on the topic?
I'd like to say Nike is the devil. Nobody buy Nike shoes
Well,
anymore.
okay. I also one more thing.
Yeah,
I
please,
think Nike.
please.
I think Nick Young overreacted.
But that's him.
Well, I mean,
That's Nick Young.
I guess that's Nick Young, the former NBA player, last played for the Denver Nuggets, one of your favorite teams, actually.
He doesn't play anymore.
Mm-mm.
This
He
is news to me.
He got cut by the not the Rockets, by the Nuggets.
Oh, because he was garbage, or he?
Yeah, well, I mean, he
Oh.
was basically end of the rotation, named clear roster spot.
I think
was-
I,
I think
don't
it was
even know if I
whenever-
knew that he.
I think it was
went to the
whenever
Nuggets.
they got whenever they traded for
Oh,
Isaiah Thomas. Like whenever they
Oh.
signed Isaiah Thomas and traded him to the Wizards to end Isaiah
Could be.
Thomas's career.
Rest in peace. Just kidding. he's
5'9",
not dead.
man,
Big guy.
big guy.
Big guy Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were just gonna say that he blew it out of the water.
Yeah, he
That's
blew
all
out of the
you were
water,
saying.
and if you go look at his tweets,
Yep.
he's overreacting by a freaking mile.
Yep, but that's him,
ridiculous.
like usual. But yeah, I
He's one of those gifs where the guy he goes like,
Yep.
he's one of those, and then he's also the guy that like turns around and the ball rims out of the. He, like,
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that. He's the same guy.
He's something. But
But yeah, anything else you'd like to say on the Lil Nas X sneakers or sneakers in general?
yeah, I do have another sneaker I'd like to get to after
Okay,
this.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I
I wasn't freaked out by him. That's
no. And I am, and maybe there's a certain part of me that can understand that maybe someone sees that, gets freaked out. But I think just the one discrepancy that people had is they thought it was a Nike shoe.
Yeah, or
And
that,
I
like,
could see
Nike
that.
sponsored it,
Yeah, and I could see
Yeah.
that maybe being like, okay.
especially because the Nike swoosh is on their 3D times,
Yeah.
one on each side, one on
Yeah.
the tongue.
But what was I just about to say? I was just about to say something about that. I was talking about Nike. Oh, I was just going to say that I think it's interesting and maybe cool that it's maybe it's the first time that I've seen something like that in like mainstream culture, that kind of like counterculture dipping into the dark side,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to call it, devilish, whatever, kind of like scary stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Other than
which
Halloween.
yeah.
Yeah, the stuff that's like not just
Yeah.
Halloween related. That's like
Which I think is cool because, like, obviously that's the music I listen to, like Slipknot and stuff like that. Like, that's kind of the stuff I'm into, like horror and stuff like that, that I feel like isn't really on the mainstream, doesn't really hit the mainstream very often. I think that it's kind of interesting to see it kind of at least somewhat touching it a little bit. And I think
Mhm.
that's, I guess, cool to see is what I'm trying to say.
yeah. No, I think it's I thought it was pretty cool. I actually sent my dad a picture of it as soon as I found out about
And
it.
he bought a pair.
Yeah, he really wanted to buy a pair,
But, so moving on from that,
yeah.
because we talked about that for a while, which is
Well,
fine.
speaking
This
of
is our
music,
show.
this is
No.
what oh, okay. I wanted to talk
I
about
wanted to
music.
say, I wanted to just bring up one more shoe.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Do you remember? So you didn't bring this over into our episode 4 show doc,
Uh-huh.
but did you see this shoe that I put in the episode 3
Yeah,
doc
uh-huh.
last week? The Nike, and it is a Nike collaboration. The Nike
Nike X.
the Nike collaboration with Undercover, with their shoe called the Overbreak.
which
and
is
if you
supposed
guys-
to be comfortable. So I'm already interested.
I don't know how it couldn't be comfortable with that much
Gunk.
gunk with that much gunk built up on it. And I mean, there's parts of the shoe that I do think are cool, but and if you guys want to see it, look up a picture. I don't have the kind of time to edit in a picture, even though I could. I just don't feel it. Maybe I will. We'll see. But it's just this. It's just a running shoe. Okay, this is for anybody who's not into sneakers listening at home, because if you are into sneakers, see. Here's one thing. Just getting very sidetracked from this, but I'm gonna jump right back on it real quick. Here's one thing that I want to always make sure with anything that we talk about that's kind of maybe out of the like people aren't into shoes. Like there's a lot of people who aren't into shoes. There's a lot of people who aren't into fashion. There's a lot of people who aren't into movies, video games like we are. But one thing that I always find important with podcasts that I really like is that they make it interesting for everybody to listen to.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want to do with, shoes or anything we talk about, is not just be like, talk about the specifics and people are like, Air Max 97, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I want to make sure that, the listeners at home are always able to relate somehow to it and understand what's going on and maybe find the humor in it because we're funny.
Well, I would also imagine that a lot of people have seen the Lil Nas X sneakers.
Oh,
at this
for
point.
sure. At least seen I don't know about these undercover shoes. That
No,
I'm talking
honestly,
about now, but
those were only on my radar because I checked the sneakers app.
yeah. Okay, so what I was saying is, picture a running shoe, just typical running shoe.
I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, you can if you want to. It's gonna be a glare. You might be able to. So if you can see that, I don't know if you can. But for the listeners at home who aren't watching, picture a running shoe that's pretty much all cream off-white color. It has the black Nike swoosh on it, a black back, and then the one really cool thing that I like about it is the little rose on the Nike swoosh. I do really like that a lot.
It's like coming out of the Nike swoosh. It is not the Nike swoosh.
It's really small. I think it's really cool.
I thought it was a really neat accent.
Yeah. And then
Attention to detail.
after you picture that running shoe, just picture like you just stepped in like a bunch of mud.
but
and
it's all white mud.
And it's all white mud and it's not going to go anywhere. That's what this shoe looks like. It looks, how I compared it when I first saw it, is it looks like whenever you don't brush your teeth for a month and you get all that plaque buildup. Not that I've never brushed my teeth for a month, but I'm just picturing that. You just get plaque buildup that looks like that. Like you have really bad gingivitis.
It kind of actually looks like scrambled eggs.
Kind
If
of.
you were to step into like raw scrambled
Well, I said it
egg.
looks like plaque. I get what you're saying. It does look like scrambled eggs. I'm not
Now
sure
I
what
look at it.
cream-colored scrambled eggs you're eating.
They're like, it'd be like if you could fry scrambled
whites.
eggs, like fried egg, you know?
Egg whites.
Yeah, that's what it is. Scrambled egg whites. No yolk. Can you imagine? Can you
Just
do
the
that?
way
Can you
Yeah,
do that?
you-
Can you like no
never
yolk?
heard of people eating egg whites?
No,
That's
no,
what egg
no.
whites are.
I know, but I'm imagining scrambled egg whites.
That's what it is.
Really?
When people are like, I'm eating egg whites, you're just scrambling egg white.
you
You're
just
scrambling the
extract
whites
the
of the
yolk?
eggs. Yeah, you just see what people do is they take the egg yolk out and they go. Exactly. Anyways, my sneaker hour's over. I just wanted to touch up on the gunk shoe, as I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, no, I thought about buying the black one. I don't even know when those release officially.
If I was given a pair, I would wear them, but I don't see myself purchasing them. But there are things about it I like, but the gunk buildup
Did they come out?
is going to
My
be
submission wasn't
negative.
selected. I went for the dunks.
I
today.
completely forgot about it. I got to work today, and it was like 9:10 at that point, and I couldn't enter the raffle. But I was like, whatever, I'm not going to get it anyways.
I guess it already passed.
I
I
think
didn't know
so. I think it was like, I had the release date. It was like March 3rd or something. So it was almost been a month.
I totally forgot about them then.
Ooh, I know you want to. Let's get to the music segment, and then we can talk about something else that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce the segment? You just kicked the ball back in my court.
So yeah. Here we go. Music segment.
What you listening to?
What you listening to?
Gavin's dropping sick beats over here.
Yeah. So yeah. I guess what have I been listening to? What is something that I want to talk about?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the past
Well,
week,
do you want to introduce the segment real quick? Do you want to introduce what it is in case people didn't listen to last episode?
if you didn't make it towards the end of last episode last week,
Or you didn't even listen to it at all.
or you didn't listen to it at all, we have a new segment on the
You.
show known as What You Listening To, where we will be sharing. Each one of us will be sharing a album or a song that we have been listening to or that we recommend to the audience,
Or maybe an artist.
or maybe a whole entire
Maybe.
artist. So what I have been listening to has been, to be honest with you, I can't believe I'm saying this. Not that I've ever spoken anything bad on this artist, but I listened, I think, all the way through this album while I was playing Call of Duty. Believe it or not.
If it's what I'm thinking of, that's a very interesting thing to listen to while playing Call of Duty.
Okay, I think you may be right.
If it's who, is it a woman?
Yes, it's a woman.
Is her name Lord?
No.
Oh, it's not Lord. Okay.
No.
Because I had something I wanted to talk about Lord as well. Our
my
Lord and
pick-
Savior Jesus Christ.
My pick of this week is Chemtrails Over the Country Club by Lana Del Rey. I listened to that album while I was playing Call of Duty. it's her newest album.
Wait.
Lana Del Rey.
Was your tweet about Lord or Lana Del Rey?
Lana Del Rey.
Shoot, that's what I meant. I meant Lana Del Rey, not Lord.
Yeah, no, I was listening to Lana Del Rey.
That's what I meant. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is what I was thinking.
Well,
yeah.
I honestly, if you had told me in 2014 that in 7 years from now I'm going to be listening to to Lana Del,
See, now you're saying
now
it.
you got me thinking about it. That I already listened to Lord, but I had not listened to Lana Del Rey. I literally had not given her like the time of day. No offense to her, but some of the fans are kind of toxic, and they're the people to defend her to the end of the planet,
Real quick,
to the end of the earth.
is Lord or Lana Del Rey the one whose husband is like an LA police officer?
Lana Del Rey.
Oh, it is Lana
Yeah,
Del
it
Rey.
was Lana Del Rey. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Lord's like New Zealand dish. She's a Kiwi.
Yeah. Is that racist?
I don't think so. She's a Kiwi though. She's from New Zealand.
Sounds racist.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
just kidding.
anyway.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't think it is.
So she this is a new album that released.
Wait, I thought you were saying. Wait, so is it an old or a new album you listened to?
New album, brand new.
Oh.
Fresh off the press. Chemtrails Over the Country Club. It, in my opinion, front to back, good album. It's good. I just recommend it because it kind of touches on a lot of different genres of music in general. It's definitely got like an alternative song or two on there, and it also has a couple like country songs and a couple like folky songs
Interesting.
that if I hadn't listened to the album, I wouldn't have even wanted to listen to more of that sound. Like I want to listen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a particular. I think it was "Let Me Love You Like a Woman." I will say that "White Dress," which is the opening track, not one of my favorite opening tracks because it's a little offbeat in my opinion. That she adds extra syllables where I guess where eighth notes would be, but like anyway. It's a little weird and funky to listen to. I wish I could play a sample for you, but if you listen to it,
Yeah.
it's a little funky.
I'll have to listen to it.
Not funky as in like boom boom boom. I'm talking about not like funky like that. I'm talking about just kind of weird, little iffy.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
But yeah, there's I think it was Dark, but Just a Game is a good alternative one. I like that one, and I liked I think Wild at Heart and Let Me Love You Like a Woman. Both of those were really good, like kind of like country-ish sounding, like Western bluegrass. I don't even know.
Ooh.
I don't even know, but they are very.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, she has the perfect voice for sounding country. I also do think that there is another song in this album that is auto-tuned, and it pissed me off.
Uh-oh.
I've never been pissed off at a song that an alternative artist has written
Yeah.
or made, but like she had an auto-tuned part of it, and I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "This is weird. This is out." I feel like
Yeah.
this was very out of touch. Maybe it was on another album, but she has an auto-tuned song somewhere in her library.
Somewhere. Thought you said you just listened to this album, dude.
Well, then like once you get to the end of the album, Spotify can play like songs that are similar to it.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't realize I had gotten to it because.
I feel that. That happened
yeah.
to me earlier.
But yeah, so yeah, it's a really good album. And I think that you should listen to it. It's got a little special flavor of everything. So I think maybe check it
I'll
out if you
listen to
want.
it. Yeah, that sounds
I
interesting.
like I said, I would have never thought I would have been listening to Lana Del Rey, except for
didn't
whenever my
think you would either.
dad played. My dad played West Coast.
That's a good song.
Yeah, I like that. I actually played that in the car today.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
That was a good song. I didn't even realize that was a thing.
It's a really good song.
Nerd moment right now. That album, Ultraviolence, was produced by my favorite band's guitarist, Dan Auerbach,
From what band?
from the Black Keys.
Oh.
He produced that album.
interesting.
That was whenever he like got done writing Turn Blue and ended up producing Lana Del Rey and Cage the Elephant.
Oh.
Very good. He was a very good producer. Like I think
Sounds
I
like
made a
it.
tweet about it, but he's a better producer than songwriter, my opinion. 'Cause
Ooh,
he's got-
shots fired.
I feel like he's got more. I think he's got more Grammys as a producer than
Really?
like, yeah, because I'm pretty sure he won one with "Tell Me I'm Pretty" by Cage the Elephant, that entire album,
Okay.
and Lana Del Rey's "Ultraviolence." And "Ultraviolence" is actually a pretty sick, just laid down like alternative album.
I haven't listened to it myself, but I've heard a decent amount of it. And it's
I
actually,
have no
yeah,
idea
I was actually like, whoa, okay, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I have no idea why I was so turned off to the idea of listening. Not like turned off to the idea of just like listening to Lana Del Rey at all.
Yeah.
I don't know why. mean,
I know why I was, but
what was your reason?
well,
People, certain people. Okay, yeah, I got you. Certain people, am I right?
certain people, right?
Jay Leno, Mark Scorsese.
I won't get into my Martin Scorsese.
Well, yeah. So yeah, that's my album recommendation. Carson, check that out. Audience,
Lana Del
check it out.
Rey.
Banadede.
In my what you listening to of the week. So I got kind of in a bit of a pickle this week because I don't know if I wasn't well, it's kind of confusing. So I usually will listen to new stuff throughout the week on my Discover Weekly, which is through YouTube Music, not Spotify. And not like YouTube's elitist to Spotify. It just happens to be what I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually listen to new stuff on there, and then typically I'll pull an album from there that I like, and that just is usually what I'm listening to that week. But this week, I didn't get to listen to anything, not for any I couldn't even tell you why I didn't, but I didn't get to listen to any new albums literally until today. And there's this really good album that I've only listened to once through, so I wouldn't recommend it just yet. I want to listen to it again. Hopefully, it'll probably be what I end up choosing for next week.
Mm-hmm.
But what my idea was up until literally today, until I was like, maybe I should choose that. And I was like, no, I won't. But what I was thinking about, just because I think it's an amazing album that I would say is one of my favorite albums of all time. Because that's probably because I mean, really, I do listen to a lot of these albums at random. It could be whenever. It's not, they're my favorite albums of all time, but it might not typically be what I'm listening to exactly that week, but I could pop in every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I can tell you about the album.
That's the greatness of streaming services.
Amen. And that's an amen.
Other than like not paying artists, I think that's the worst part about it. But
I think that's actually my favorite part.
oh, okay, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
No, me too.
I don't like to pay artists.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah.
I like to get my stuff free. But this is also one of my favorite bands, and it just so happens that Gavin was actually playing a song by this band earlier, and I didn't even tell him that it was from this album, actually, not even just from this band, from this album that I had already planned on using for my What Am I Listening to this week, and that is the album Wish by the band The Cure. And I want to get to that really quickly because, first of all, front to back, this is an amazing album. Apart from
Friday I'm in Love.
Track number 7, known as Friday I'm in Love, which is
It's
smack
Friday.
dab right, perfectly plays right in the middle of the album.
It's Friday, I'm in love.
I think this album, literally front to back, I could listen to the whole thing if Friday I'm in Love was not in there because I think that is a garbage trash song. I just hate the song. I just don't like it.
I mean, it's one of those
It gets on my
songs
nerves.
that's like designed to be a single, you know what I mean?
And it's their most popular song, and I think it's horrible. But
I mean, it plays in department stores like JCPenney and Sears.
It does. Same with that, and well, Pictures of You doesn't play that much, but
Yeah.
the song. Hold on, let me pull it up. Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah, Boys Don't Cry, yeah.
Plays a lot, but I just think, the fact that Friday I'm in Love is even on this album does not make any sense if you listen to it front to back because it's such a depressing emo album that like Friday I'm in Love almost feels like it's. I don't know much about the album itself, but I almost wonder if it's like mocking something. You know how like MGMT, like when they started, they were literally just making fake pop music.
Yeah, no, just and literally in their dorm room.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if like, because if you listen to the album, it just doesn't make any sense because the rest of the songs are like, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say they're all depressing, but most of them are somewhat depressing. It's more of just like a somber musical album, and to have this like poppy weird song right in the middle doesn't make any sense. And I'm wondering if maybe that has, I don't know. I just feel like that maybe that there's something to that. Well, I guess maybe, I don't know. I'll be honest and say I haven't listened to the whole album in a little while because there's another song called Windy Time that I think might be more upbeat too, but I can't remember that. But yeah, it's just a beautiful album that I think, oh, hold on. I need to start this up again.
And I'll also fill time
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins. I'll just fill time real quick, and just by saying that, I did actually listen to your. I listened to a couple songs.
Yeah, I want to get to that after.
Okay.
After this, because it's just an amazing album that came out in 1992. It's just really good. Honestly, you just have to listen to it again. I probably should have listened to it once through one more time, just so I could have a little bit more to say about it. Then it's an amazing album, because it is. And yeah, just if you like kind of more synthy, I guess I would say like synthy 80s, like emo music. You know, it's not like poppy synth, but it's more like droning kind of synth, but also with some like droning guitar music. It's just really good. It's just, yeah, just give it a listen. My song recommendations from that album are Letter to Elise, and honestly maybe Open, which is the first song on there, but also Cut is really good, and so is End. I don't know. Just listen to the damn album, David.
I'm honestly surprised that I have not listened to that album. I've listened to a lot of.
Very good.
I've listened to. Shoot, it's literally one of my favorite songs of all time. I can't think of it right now. It's like
By The Cure? Is By The Cure, you
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
Is it Just Like Heaven? I don't know. We'd have to figure it out later, because I couldn't even tell you. Here, I'll play a little snippet of it, some songs.
No.
Nope.
That's Boys Don't Cry. Yes, that one.
Close to Me.
Yeah, I like that song a lot.
That is a good song.
Yeah.
That's off an album from 85, which is crazy. The Cure's first album came out in 79. Isn't that crazy?
Seriously?
Yeah, their first album came out in 1979. That's where
No
Boys
way.
Don't Cry came out on their first album in 79.
That's one reason why I think that the 80s. This is bias, by the way. This is pure bias. That's why I think the 80s were one of the best decades for music in general, because those songs literally sound timeless. Somebody could release that today,
Yeah.
and I would have thought that it came out. It's just one of those things where it could have been released today and it would have been brand new to me.
Well, that's why you hear Boys Don't Cry all the time in department stores and stuff like that.
It's just one of those
Like,
it was
anytime
very transformative
yeah.
back then, and it's now like part of this. It's a staple in time now.
Anytime I hear Boys Don't Cry in a department store, I like forget that it's by The Cure. Like, I'm not even joking.
It's just
I'm
such
like,
a,
oh yeah, that's a Cure song. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that.
yeah.
But yeah, so last week I recommended an album called Grey View by Invent Animate, and Gavin recommended an album by Peter Gabriel called Melt.
Yep.
And
His third studio album.
it's third studio album. Gavin, would you like to give your review of album I recommended?
I listened to, I think, 2 songs. Could really hardly get through them. They were a little hard. You did recommend the instrumental ones, and I like the instrumentals. It was just I didn't really want to listen to the rest of the ones with lyrics.
You just not like the screaming?
Yeah, just not.
Okay.
Just
I understand.
But it's not. It's really not just that music's just not really my
Yeah.
cup of tea, in my opinion. But I did listen to it. I liked the instrumental. The instrumentals, like I said, I think we had a small talk before, after, but there was a couple of hooks in the music where I was like, this is pretty good. Like, I think at the
Yeah.
beginning of one of them, I was like, just the beginning had like a pretty good, got me into the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't remember which one it was, but
It was probably Fireside.
yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah.
But I think just being being inspired by Interstellar was very interesting.
It was.
Not much else to say about it. I really don't have anything else to say about it.
And you know what? That's fine, because I'm probably going to have just as much to say about Peter Gabriel's Melt. I did like it, but again, I do want to listen to the whole thing, and I will. But I think I listened to, I want to say, like halfway through it. And I will say, I think the fact that there's no cymbals kind of got on my nerves.
Really? I thought it's so
Yeah.
interesting because it's a challenge not to use symbols.
Interesting, yes, but it's still, I think, got a little bit on my nerve. Maybe that's just because
It's a very plain
I'm a
sounding
percussionist.
album
I know.
without it. I will say it is pretty plain without it sometimes, and that he
I
had
don't
to
know if
use,
I would say that.
Well, I
It's
mean,
pretty-
plain is in kind of like a flatty kind
Yeah,
of noise from the drums.
yeah.
It's very flat.
And I think that's what annoyed me about it, is like I kept like, okay, there needs to be a symbol there,
Yeah.
but there isn't. And yeah, you're right. It just didn't like without cymbals, it wasn't really getting that range that it needed. You're right. It did sound very flat.
Yeah, there was like it was basically all mid range. There was
Yeah.
no, or it was like mid range and bass. There
Yep.
was no treble.
Yeah.
And I think that he tried filling that void with different weird sounds and
And
nutty
again, it's
stuff.
not a bad. I didn't think it was bad. I do want to finish listening to it, but yeah, it was just like you said, not my cup of tea.
Also going back to the Lana Del Rey album that I listened to, it's another note about it is that it kind of feels like you're in an acoustic album, like one-on-one session with her. It's very,
Whoa.
it's pretty cool. I gotta
Did
say,
she talk to you?
No, it's not like that. It's just kind of like it's like a private. It feels like a private concert just because it's so torn down.
I like that.
There's not a lot of.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
very, yeah, it's very like piano, guitar, drum. And
I like that.
Hardly any mastering.
I like that.
It's a pretty neat sound and very unique.
Yeah, I've been listening to more live albums than anything recently. Like more than I'm preferring to listen to live albums over the studio albums, to be honest, just because I like the sound of it better.
Yeah.
Because there's one of my favorite artists who I've talked about before, they just recorded their first 3 albums as the band setup that they are. They re-recorded them live.
Mm.
And it's and I prefer to listen to those than the original versions of them.
Yeah.
So I think I would like that. So I'll definitely give it a listen at some point. Couldn't tell you when,
Yeah.
but I will. What's it called again? Christmas
Chemtrails over the country club.
Christmas over the country grass.
Yes.
Bluegrass over the country ground.
I think Anthony Fantano did a review on it, and I listened to it, and I agree with some of his
Did he give it a
sentiments on
good review or bad?
I think he gave it like a good 7 or something like that.
Amateurs.
I know. But I thought I agree with it. It's kind of like a 7 to a 7.5 to me.
Yeah.
I
So
just recommend it because it's something that I was listening to and just kind of different than what normal thing something I'm used to, I guess.
yeah, and the reason why I saw you made a tweet that I found very interesting about Lana Del Rey, which I thought was Lorde, but now I'm finding out was Lana Del Rey.
Here, I'll go
You
through it.
said, here, do you want to read it? Do you
Yeah,
have
I'll
it?
read it? I'll read it.
I found it very funny. I gave it a 1 like. Couldn't give it any more than that.
Hot music take. Lana Del Rey is just a glorified Mazzy star.
That's the one.
And like literally just a Mazzy star with daddy issues because she sings about like daddy.
I forgot about that part. That was my favorite part about it.
Like if you've listened to Mazzy Star, I think she has a couple where it's like, look on down from the bridge.
Did somebody just knock?
Yeah, I think so.
Is somebody there? Oh, it was probably just the wind. Probably just the wind. Was there really nobody there? Oh, it was probably just the wind. I've been hearing it kind of jingle every once in a while.
Well, anyway,
There's a ghost.
Well, Mazzy Star has kind of like that same sound to Lana Del Rey. In my opinion, I think that it is very similar. Lana Del Rey stands. You can
Come after.
Yeah, you can come after me for that, but I think you actually do have to kind of understand what Mazzy Star sounds like, and I think that she kind of does sound like Mazzy Star.
As far as I'm not a Mazzy head, but I know enough about it to agree with that and find that joke funny.
Yeah, I think she Fade Into You.
Is a Mazzy Star song?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna play. I really want to play it right now, but I can't.
Yeah,
We'll listen to it afterwards, and then I think
that sounds good.
listen to any of her top songs, and then tell me that it doesn't sound like Lana Del Rey. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but
Come after him.
come after me.
Come after me, please. Please.
So yeah, is there anything else you'd like to say about The Cure?
About The Cure?
The Cure.
It's really on key. We're really in key there, guys.
I never wanted to be real. You wish that I was long ago. I wanted to say hi. You wanted to stay low. I never wanted to be real. I wait for you. You just listened to the
As
hit-
an unreleased version
of-
an unreleased song by The Cure.
that was just a
That's
little
what that
sample.
was.
That was just a sample. They
welcome.
they only did a few demos of it, so there really wasn't much more to it. But
That's true.
yeah, it's a real shame that they didn't release more of that song.
It's a real shame that Robert Smith died before he could make that song.
I'm pretty sure he's still alive, and he
He's
just
definitely
he
very
just likes
alive.
eating cake.
He's a big boy.
He was okay. I will say that he it's very strange to me that he is one that old and two still trying to look the same. I think that is very strange.
That's because he
Going on to eat.
too much.
You're right.
He's a big guy. But
Yeah.
he still tries to look the same, and his hair is
His hair is
his
out
hair is
there.
going out. His
Yeah.
hair is going by the wayside.
Yeah, it's going
very quickly.
Mongo.
But no, yeah, that's all I want to say about The Cure. So last time, we are running out of time here. We're going on a little bit over an hour. Last time we were gonna, I mentioned. Oh, your mic is muted. Yeah, or at least I think it was muted.
No, it was for just a minute.
Fine.
Sorry, I was touching it.
I did say last time we were going to talk a lot about NFTs. I think the one thing I wanted to touch on that you brought to me last night is that there was a bubble burst. Because I honestly,
Allegedly.
like I literally said last week, I mean, as far as I know, NFTs are still around, but it's not like it was. At least as far as I know. I don't know. I'll be
I've
honest.
definitely seen artists like still releasing things.
Yeah.
I think I follow like one NFT thing just because like. All right, so like I said, I think it was last week. I think it is very interesting that they have there is like art that cannot be made in person
Yeah.
or like in the physical space of life.
Yeah.
But digitally you can make that art. And I think that that's what makes NFTs a little bit special. Other than I think another thing that's kind of interesting is that you get like your own unique copy, but it costs thousands of dollars of either
That's a lot.
Ethereum or Bitcoin. And it's very like I'm not so sure about that. I'd be okay if I paid $20 for it, not
Yeah.
$20,000 for it.
And I've heard things that like,
And literally, you just send an email with the picture of it, like to the person.
yeah, and
It's
I've heard,
very
and that's what I've
stupid.
heard is there's not a whole lot of security behind these NFTs.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
basically
it's
you
on
just,
the
like, give people
blockchain.
your
It's
money.
on, it's on the blockchain, but like behind the pictures themselves, there's not like much security. Like like there's not a lot of security that's like keeping anybody from accessing, like changing or taking images or something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
yeah.
Again, it was just something I heard through the grapevine from somebody who
Because like I could
knows about that.
Because another thing that's kind of stupid to me is that you could just like screenshot it and then just name it like original and then not like post it again, but you could just like be like, I have an NFT
But
of
it's
this.
not on the blockchain.
It doesn't mean anything.
It's not minted.
It
what
honestly
makes it
doesn't even mean anything to
important.
me at all, even if it was on the blockchain.
Well,
I don't think
listen-
it would mean a lot to anybody.
Listen here, Gavin. It doesn't mean anything to me either. So
But anyway,
yeah,
I will say that's my one thing on it, is that there are some cool art, but other than that, if you're just selling pictures and it's an NFT, that's stupid. It's just a JPEG, and
Yeah.
I can screenshot it and make it on my phone for free.
I think there's a lot I had to say about NFTs last week, but this week I'm kind of just like
The bubble just kind of popped.
Just
in
kinda
my opinion.
over it.
Yeah, it's really not.
I'm a little over it at the moment. A
not-
lot of people, if you want to know anything about NFTs and you were, for some reason, you were waiting till this episode to hear about it, just go listen to literally any podcast going on right now and you can hear somebody talk about it.
Or just like watch a video of like, what are NFTs?
Yeah. I don't feel, yeah, because I could explain what they are. Or we could get into that. I could get into to my
It's kinda
opinion on art because I do like art. I'm an art history nerd.
An art head.
I'm an art head. I won't call myself a sneakerhead, but I will call myself an art head. So, huh? Yeah, I'm just kind of over NFTs. If they come back or I feel like they're important again, we can talk about it. But I don't see you that interested in it either. I think I'm just over it. I'm so tired of hearing. I'm not tired of hearing about it, but I just don't
agree.
feel like talking
it's
about
just
it.
one of those things that you just kind of get over with.
But something I do want to talk about is the Suez Canal. Suez Canal.
Congratulations to the Ever Given for getting unblocked after almost an entire week of blocking the Suez Canal.
Hey Gavin, have you ever given a shit?
I've taken a shit. I took a big one today.
Whoa, big old stinky from Gavin.
So I just want to give you some facts about it. Is that the container ship Ever Given?
It's big. It's pretty big.
It's 400 meters long and 59 meters wide, and it is 219,079 tons. Like, that's how much it weighs, which is times that by 2,000, you get like a lot of pounds. And then
You get a lot of pounds.
and the capacity is 20,388 TEUs, which is the 20-foot container equivalent.
That's a big boat.
It is a massive boat.
So if you somehow haven't heard, especially by Friday when you're listening to this, there was a big boat that got stuck in this canal in Mexico. Is that where it is?
No, that's a Panama Canal.
Where's the Suez Canal? I have no idea.
Here, I'll show you.
It's not in Mexico.
It's in Egypt.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. That makes sense now. Let's see. Hold on. Where are we? I can't see it. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, wow. That's long. That's a long boy.
Yeah, and all the ships were backed up like in that in the
Wait,
Suez Gulf.
Suez my ass. You tell your lawyer to Suez my ass.
You can Suez me.
You can
Suez.
Suez me.
Welcome. Welcome to the Suez.
Dr. Suez. Dr. Suez.
Canceled.
Canceled. Let's talk about it. But there was a big old ship that got
And now it's gone.
It was like, no, well, it's actually not. It's not gone. It got stuck sideways right in the dirt, and it got stuck. And they just got it out last night, but
They brought a dog out and they dug it out.
they brought a couple dogs out to to dig it out. The dogs dug it out, and they got 2 Ford trucks to pull it in opposite directions to spin it around. That's what it sounded like when the containers were falling over. And now it's freed, but I heard, and I don't know what the I don't know what the reason is for this, but I heard that they're not going to be able to start moving ships through it for still like another week. That's right. Again, that's just as far as I know. I don't know why. But that's just as far as I know, which sucks.
They gotta clear all the stuff that they dropped.
They got to run some Miralax through it, unclog it. Shit. My phone just fell. My phone fell. I'm sorry. Gavin's playing over there. Gavin's having a lot of fun. Now he knows how much fun I have.
Yeah. But yeah,
Anything about the Suez Canal you want to say, Gavin, before we wrap this up?
congratulations to Suez Canal for getting in the news for the first time, literally probably since its inception.
Congratulations to Dr. Suez, Mr. and Mrs. Dr. Suez. On your ships.
Yep.
Under it.
So yeah,
Suez Canal.
Suez Canal. Well, thanks for listening.
That's how we're going to end it off. We're just going to end it like that.
Suez Canal.
Well, thanks for listening. No, I was kidding. We're in person now.
I really
Things are
appreciate
different.
everybody that's listening and giving feedback to us. If you have anything more you'd like to say,
Please
let me
say
know.
it.
Please say it. Say it now for Hold Your Pee.
We're getting our sea legs still.
Rocking the boat.
We're rocking. Oh, the boat? You get it? The boat, Suez Canal. Wait, but what did you want to talk about this wedding?
Nah. Okay. Long story short, I went to a wedding.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
You haven't went to a wedding on Saturday for the first
Yeah.
time in 10 to 15 years.
Literally been that long. And what's crazy is I was actually a friend. And it was a very pretty wedding. It was very neat. I will say that walking into it was at the Science Center. It was at the IMAX theater.
In St.
Walking
Louis.
into it, we walked into the planetarium side.
I've never been.
The planetarium side,
Planetarium.
and there was a Karen who didn't want to wear their mask.
From the
In-
wedding?
No, just someone who was like attending the wedding.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Who didn't want to wear the mask. Pardon my French.
Oh.
Pardon my French, but
Uh-oh.
into the fucking Science Center.
Uh-huh.
It's in the name.
I don't understand. I was kidding.
And she got followed by the security guard right in front of us and like basically started like getting upset at the security guard for asking her to wear a mask. And she's like, well, you know, Missouri doesn't have any mask mandates. And he's like, yeah, but we do.
Yeah.
And he's like,
St.
"Can you
Louis
please-
does.
Yeah, can you please just like put on your mask while you're inside? And then like as soon as we got into the IMAX theater, rip that motherfucker off.
Oof. Was she not from the area? You don't know.
Listen, she might have literally been from like St. Charles, like as far as that.
What do you mean? No, I was kidding.
She could have been from.
That would sound about
She
right.
could have been
She could have
from-
been from literally anywhere.
Yeah, and she was very upset. And like they asked us to put it over our nose too.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
like,
good.
yeah.
Good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was just like why are we raising an issue about it? She's like,
Yeah.
do you trust your mask? Are you wearing a mask? And he's like, yeah, I actually have two, and I do trust it.
Yeah.
And
So what was the you were gonna say, you were telling me in the car earlier about something to do with drinks or something?
yeah. So at the reception, I had a rum and coke, and that was cool.
Gavin is 21. I am
I'm
not.
I'm 21, and it was an
I'm
open
20
bar.
until June 2nd. Happy birthday.
So then it was okay, and then I got up we got into the planetarium, like went up into it, like the little the part
Oh, the dome.
the domey part, but not like the dome part across the highway. I'm talking about like the white dome.
Yeah.
Thing with like that has a bow across it usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. We got into it,
Whoa.
and we got a whole star show. But anyway,
Shit.
so me and my friend Eli were wedding crashers because we forgot to RSVP for the wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but we got invited. We didn't RSVP, so we didn't have an assigned seat at the dinner.
Yikes.
So, so we're sitting down, and I at that point I've only had one drink, so like I'm not drunk yet. I'm not that lightweight yet.
Yeah.
Usually I am with a beer, but like that, it was literally like this big. It was like basically a shot of like half
Yeah.
rum, half Coke. It
Yeah.
was not very good. No offense, but it's just I was not
I'm telling.
yeah, it was I was just not expecting that much rum in that little of a container.
Yeah.
But so my friends pointed out the wedding planner, like the person who's like supervising the wedding and like planning the wedding with the bride. And so I'm sitting in someone else's spot right now, like at our friend's table, like where my
Yeah.
other friends were sitting. And so they point out the wedding planner, and so she walks over by us, and I'm like, hey. And she's like, what's up? And I'm like, can I get 2 chairs over here? We're just going to like add to the table. And she's like, no. And she's like, who are you here with? I'm like, I'm here with the bride. And she's like, did you get invited? And I'm like, yeah, I got invited. And she's like, well, did you RSVP? And I'm like, no, we forgot to RSVP, me and my friend. And she's like, well, there's a table over there. And it was literally like all the way across
Oof.
the planetarium by like the other side that we did not know, and with no friends over there,
Yeah.
nobody to talk to other than each other. So the best man gives a speech, the maid of honor gives a speech, and then they toast to the bride and groom.
Mhm.
And so me and my friend are sitting at this table meant for like 7 people. Just 2 people at this like 7-person table.
Oh yeah.
And so they did a toast, and we clinked our drinks, and we got, we had a shot of champagne. And then I'm like, you know what? Nobody else is gonna drink any of this other champagne at this table. So I like reached across the table, grabbed a champagne glass, and then drank that. And then while still having the glass of the other one, I grabbed the champagne right next to me and took a shot of that.
Yeah.
And had to wait probably like 45 minutes for the food to come out.
Oof.
So, and I had not eaten that day yet. So I was really feeling drunk after 3. I had already had 1 rum and coke and then 3
Mhm.
champagne shots, basically champagne toasts, I guess,
Yeah.
worth of alcohol. And then I went up to the open bar, and got another rum and coke, and that one was much stronger in a
Oof.
bigger cup. And I was like, it took a while for me to get through that. It took almost
Yeah.
the entire dinner. The steak was beautiful, very good. The pasta was really good. Wasn't a big fan of green beans, but it's okay.
The steak was beautiful.
It was really good. It was really good steak. I enjoyed that. It was tender. So
Are you
wasn't
sure it
too
was
chewy.
steak, not prime rib?
no, it was not prime rib.
Okay.
No, it was like a medallion kind of fillet. It was really good.
Ooh.
Very good. Very tender. Very good.
Bellissimo.
So yeah, that's I was just we were basically isolated from our friends, and then we noticed. Well, I thought, and they took out the meals to us, so we didn't like go up and
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
And I thought that we were going to have to I thought that we were going to wait for the dessert and stuff like that. And then they had like the mother-daughter dance, and then the father-daughter dance, and then the mother-son.
And then the
Uh,
first dance.
Yeah, then the first dance and stuff like that. But the entire time the desserts were across the planetarium, so everybody on that side of the planetarium
Knew
was
about
getting,
it, but you didn't.
was getting all their desserts. But they were taking pictures and like making sure it all looked good. And
Yeah.
but me and Eli couldn't walk across that way because that's where the dance floor was, and that's where they were taking
Oh,
pictures.
you couldn't even get around it?
No, I mean we could. It was just
Oh.
like not worth it. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
walking in between tables and between people just to go get some dessert and then walk all the way back.
Yeah.
Not worth it. So we just waited for all the dances to get over with, and then we finally got
Yeah.
the cake, which was really good. The cake was really good.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. And we also got a star show. Like they had like the star projection
That's
on
dope.
the ceiling. It was super cool.
That's dope. I hope I get in case you guys don't know, I film weddings for a company. And I've heard some people say that they've filmed weddings there, so I hope I get to do one there. That'd be
It's
cool.
really neat. Yeah. I will say at the IMAX theater, like that's where they held the wedding
Yeah.
officially. It was just being in there is kind of like headachy because you're like
For a wedding, that would be really weird.
you're like on this like almost incredibly steep incline because there's
Yeah.
so much of screen that you have to look at. Oh my god, it was kind of like nauseating because we were basically like looking down on them.
Yeah.
We weren't that far up, but we were about midway through. But I mean, it was a very cool venue.
Yeah.
It was just like every time I'm in the IMAX theater, I just get this feeling of nausea and like
I've never been.
air sickness just because it feels so big and like
Yeah.
you're so small and like
Yeah. Start sweating.
yeah, it was kind of weird. And also, I left my dress shoes at home. So I wore, speaking of sneakers, I wore Jordan 11 Jubilees to the wedding.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture real quick.
Yeah, I want to see the fit. I want
Um,
to see that fit. It's just funny to hear you explaining weddings because I'm so good at working them. Oh, that doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
Looks fine.
Yeah.
Did anybody say anything about it?
No, it was just very I guess it was very
I mean,
in
those
character for me.
are meant to be tuxedo shoes. That's why they have patent leather. Do you know that?
I did not know that. No,
That's why Jordan made it with patent leather, is so that you could wear them with suits.
I did
I'm being
not know
serious.
that.
I'm
I
being
did
for
not
real.
know that actually. I was just very
Yeah,
thrown
that's
off.
the
But there
truth.
you go. There it is.
Oh, I'm not even going to restart it because we're going to wrap it up here anyway. So.
All right. Yeah. So
So we're saying if you're watching the video, you can't see us now, but we are saying goodbye. But yeah, I didn't mean to because we were going to end it,
yeah, but
and then we
I-
started talking about
yeah,
something
no,
else.
I mean, that
So I
was the first time
apologize to the listeners for being like a weird
Yeah.
ending there.
but it was like the first time I had been to a wedding in a really long time, and
Yeah.
it was very. It felt very fish out of water for me because I've never really been to an official friend wedding. And
Yeah,
and it was very fish out of water for my friend Eli because he just was uncomfortable. It's
Well.
just one of those things where, I mean, it was a lot of people. I will say that it was a lot of people. We were all wearing masks, but it was,
So you RSVP.
yeah, that was another thing that was kind of uncomfortable. I should RSVP.
Always RSVP. God. Sorry.
But I still got steak, so I got my beef card.
Amen. You got your beef card.
Yeah, they had a little beef in the corner. It was like a little cow in the corner of the
Did
card.
you bring it home with you?
No.
Oh, well.
But yeah, thanks for listening. I appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you guys for listening. I hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoy it now that we're in person, because this is as
no
far as I know.
cutouts.
Yeah.
No.
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 Where's it? And that's whenever I
yeah.
went there. None of those cutouts. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, I hope you guys enjoyed it, because this is how it's gonna be forever. We're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever. Oh man.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night. Yeah, no, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it sounds a lot better. It'll sound a lot more crisp and clean video. Let us know what you think of the video version. It's going to be a little bit different. At some point, I want to be able to have two cameras going individually on us, but right now we're just doing it in a way where it's filming both of us at the same time. Just a little bit easier for me to edit. Sorry.
Get some more time. God damn.
Sorry. Don't got any time. Don't got any money.
Well, anyway.
Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it sounds good. Hope you sound good. Hope I sound good. Hope you sound good. And thank you.
Goodbye, bye.